And so, welcome back to the Caring for Caregivers series. And today, what I want to do, I want to honor those individuals who are caregivers because it is so important, y'all, to make sure that we are honoring those individuals. Now, the other part of that, because for any of you who know who I am, I'm all about self care, and part of self care is everything comes back to us. So, for those of you who are caregivers, receive and accept when someone says thank you, when they acknowledge of what a wonderful job that you are doing. And for me, I'm going to say this. When it came to like my mom, we all played a part, in her care in some form or fashion. And for me, part of it, some was directly, some was not, because of the fact at one particular point, especially when she was discharged from the hospital after a 90-day stay, her husband, my stepdad, Benjamin Limore, he was the best caregiver because he had a lot on his plate. Because at that particular time, when my mom was discharged, she was discharged on a feeding tube. Yeah. So he had to learn of all the different things that you do with a feeding tube, cleaning it and flushing it out and things like that. Then she was discharged with a slew of medications. That was a lot. And so even though I'm going to say some of us was there at different for different reasons in helping, but because they lived together, he took the bulk of that. And then not only that, because my dad, her husband, loved her so much, he wouldn't have it any other way, even though that was my mom, but of course, his wife, he wanted to make sure that he take care of that. So that brings up another part when it comes to caregiving. Sometimes for some individuals, especially when it comes to daughters, not always, but when it comes, let's say, to an adult child, when it comes to their parent, and especially if their parent, well, it can be their biological parent or not, in saying it's like, how do you show up? Because of the fact that sometimes you may not know how to show up. And what I would say is that you pay attention. It's almost like the love language. You figure out what is somebody's love language and how you can complement their love language in the way that they need to, quote unquote, be cared for, but also to be supported. Because sometimes some people are like, oh yeah, well, it's my job, of course I'm going to do that. And only thing I can say is like, of course, that's my mom, of course I'm going to be there for her. But one of the ways that I feel like that I supported my stepdad is pretty much it's being in the background, but it's doing some other things in the background as well. It's like with whatever that he may not have been able to support her in such a way. But again, he had the bulk of it with that particular medical mayhem, medical complications that she had had. So, in saying all of that, what I want to encourage you, well, what I want to know from you all is who do you want to honor as a caregiver? And if anything, make sure you're honoring yourself. Even though sometimes I know for some of you, you may not have the help that you greatly deserve to have, but I want you to focus on what you do, not just because that is your mom, that is your dad, that is your grandparent, that is your spouse, that is your, child who have special needs. Not just because of that. Because of course, for those of us who've had, pretty good relationships, but also for those of you who may not have had the best relationship with your family, and you still stepped up anyway. Because that is not easy in and of itself. And so I want you to honor you because that is so important because of the fact the compliments and the validations that you may get from other people, even though they may feel good, but they don't last. So that is one reason why it's so important, especially for those of us who are entrepreneurs, individuals who are executives. It's really important for you to really honor yourself. It's just the way of the universe of our mind, body, and spirit works. Because if you are not honoring yourself, then it can literally suck the life out of you. And it can be very difficult for some of you who are already, taking care of your loved one. So, in taking care of yourself, one way to do that is to honor yourself. And for those of you who are around individuals who are caregivers, definitely let them know what a wonderful job that they're doing. Now, I will say, because sometimes some people really don't take compliments, because, they really do feel like, oh, it is my job. Of course, I'm going to do that. It's a no-brainer. You may have to, you may have to honor them in silence, and that's okay too. That's okay too, because they spirit would definitely feel that. Because at the same time, y'all, we do not want any discord among compliments of honoring someone either. Because sometimes some people are who they are. And I would say if you can at least say it once, because you may be surprised, but if you already experience it, don't be trying to do it over and over and over again. Because some people, they just do not, especially because they feel like that's their spouse, that's their grandparent, that is their parent, and of course they're going to do that. But what I would say as a caregiver, definitely honor yourself, because your spirit and your soul really needs to hear from you and no one else. And so I really do appreciate you all joining me for the Caring for Caregivers series. And I want to hear from you. Who do you honor as a caregiver? I can't wait to hear what you all have to say. See you next time.